In this tutorial, I want to explain about tracking and the use of null objects. So to show you that, I'm just going to create a new composition. Let's go for about maybe 6 seconds for this tutorial. And I'm going to drag this video called saw. Alright, it's a little bit big, so as you can see, I'm going to press S on the keyboard to go to the scale. I'm going to change the value to about 66.7, so that will fit into my 720 frame. Let's play this video for a quick one. So you can see that there is a wooden plank. So you probably see that on most of the e-learning or instructional videos that people will say, you know, draw a line here, make a mark here, cut it here, saw off here, whatever, right? So I'm just basically just going to try to put a text there saying cut here. All right, you can put anything you like. Cut here. I'm using Helvetica New. Maybe just going to make my spacing to something like about -50. That's better. Let's put it just right there and see how the video plays out. And you will notice that it kind of, it keeps moving because the plank is moving. So it doesn't look very authentic. It doesn't look very nice. You have like very boring little text around there. So what we need to do is we need to make this text follow the movement of the wooden plank. So that's what we're going to do. To create that, I'm just going to hide this text layer temporarily. Just forget about it for now. Going to go to Layer, New, and create a little null object. A null object basically is an object that doesn't really show up, but we can reference a lot of things in null object, attach, use for tracking, and so on. So we're just going to create a null object. Wherever it is doesn't really matter, although I'm just trying to angle it somewhere around here. Okay. The next step is pretty important. What you need to do is you need to select the saw layer so that you let After Effects know that which layer you wanted to track. You don't want to track on the null object. And I'm going to Window. I'm basically going to activate the tracker. Alright, we're going to open up the tracker window. Now with my tracker window open, before I start, I want to make sure my cursor is in the beginning of the timeline. That will make it a lot easier. And also you want to make sure you are on the composition and not in the particular layer. Okay, so you want to go to the composition and let's go into that. Make sure you select that. Make sure the timeline is in the beginning. And then we select the saw layer. Now we're ready to track that. So click on the track motion. And now you will see one little tracker. So I'm just going to click position, rotation, scale, all of them on. So you see two little trackers will appear now. What I'm going to do is going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to move this little point to somewhere that has a strong contrast and the points which are not too close to each other. So something like this looks like a good strong contrast to me. I'm going to do the same for the other one as well. So I'm going to make it a little bit to the point, maybe something like here. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger and move it just around here. Okay, that looks good. And basically, now I'm ready to do the analyzing. So I'm just going to make sure I'm in rough here from the beginning. I'm going to click the Analyze Forward. And it will start analyzing there. And basically what After Effects is doing now is moving these little trackers and checking and following where the movement of the wooden plank. Okay, I just need to analyze it up to about the 6 seconds. So as you can see, it kind of goes on, as you can see here. Well, I'm just going to tap on the little stop button because I have got it analyzed, which looks pretty okay. And if you're not too sure, you can just play back one forward and see if the points are okay. They look generally okay to me. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to click on Edit Target. So After Effects, what After Effects done is that basically has tracked where the plank's moving, and it's going to transfer these data to the null object. Right, the null object, the invisible object that we created earlier. So I'm going to say yes, we're going to apply Edit Target first, making sure that's null. And then we're going to say apply. We're going to apply the X and Y movement of the values to that null object. So we're back on the composition now. And when you see that the null object moves with that, well, null object isn't exactly in the position where we want to, but that doesn't really matter now. All we need to do basically is let's go back and hide the layers that we don't need. And we don't even need to see the null object. We're going to hide it. And we're going to come back to the cut here. I'll move it to the point where I want it to be. All right, maybe let's put it here for now. And this time around, do you see that little parent icon? If you don't see that, make sure you turn this little icon on. So the parent, I'm going to drag that onto the null object. So from now on, when you play the video, that text will actually follow exactly where the wooden plane goes. So if you look at that, when the wooden plane goes down, it's stuck there. You can still move the cut here now to anywhere you like. You can even rotate it. You can do pretty much what you like. For example, you want to put that text to the side like that. Maybe let's go back and change the corrected color. Let's make it white, for example. And it will stay there. So if you look at that, you know, stay there. You can also create more text layers. For example, I'm just going to create maybe another text layer, just creating the little, dashes. You can create the little dashes by drawing a line as well, but I'm just going to make it easy by doing that. And maybe I'll just draw a little dark gray. And same thing, all you need to do is just drag that onto the null. So basically it means wherever the null object goes, follow that. So you can see that appears just like that, and it follows perfectly well. So you can use that again, for the final finishing touch. You can always apply effects like text effects or any animation to these. Like maybe let's apply effects like transporter or bullet train. Maybe I'd like to apply the bullet train to these. That's kind of cool effect, I think. So if you play that, you create that little effect just like that. So let's do another test run. You can see that the text and the line appears just really nice and stays there. So that's how you can use a tracker. So basically all about going to the track point, go to Window, Tracker, make sure you select the right layer to track, and then apply the tracking, and apply the tracking values to the null object. So the null object doesn't even have to be visible, and it's just used as a catalyst layer so that the cut here, the text, other objects can be linked to the null object so that wherever the null object goes, these texts can go. So that's the basics about using tracking and the